Texas, and I currently live in Brooklyn, New York. Both my parents are super creative. They're both artists. My mom is a seamstress tailor and also a really accomplished artist in her own right, and my dad is a drummer, jack of all trades in the music business. He does everything. So, I mean, it would have been kind of a freak accident had I not done anything artistic. I know everyone always looks at my art and goes, hey, it's you, you're drawing a self-portrait. And yeah, I guess that's pretty narcissistic. I don't mean to do that, but I think a lot of people, you have to look within yourself to make work, especially work that's really honest. And we always refer to ourselves when we view our world. That's always where we're coming from, where anybody is coming from. So in a way, it's sort of my own pathos, like as a human, but then also just people I see around me who inspire me. Not to be totally cheesy, but I haven't had the easiest time making friends or like being super talkative, and I'm very much to myself. And so art was always a really nice way to express myself without having to be really verbal about it. I feel like you can get a lot more into image than you can with words. So that's a really fun thing for me. And being able to communicate with other people through my work too. So that goes just beyond any words that that I can put into the world with the honking. It's a nice touch. We're getting the New York experience. I also really love the 60s, definitely. My mom just came up in that era, and she lived in London when like Carnaby Street was like the thing. So she would go to all the little boutiques. She was like 13 or 14 or 15, like right in that age period where everything's really exciting anyway for like a girl. And like for example, she has like a really cool aviator hat that's like this pretty like blue color. It's like suede that she got on Carnaby Street. So that was, she's always inspired me and taught me about sort of the cool mod swinging 60s London. After I graduated a year ago, I felt pretty burnt out, and even though I love art and it's my whole life, I really felt conflicted because I was like really just going nuts at school, and I really like tired myself out. So there was a while where I just didn't want to make art, I didn't want to paint anything, and I just focused on like coming back to why I wanted to make art. And this was back when I was in California. I spent some time just doodling and trying to get back into like why I love what I do. And then I moved here and I started collaborating with Tennessee, and it just made things so much more fun because I had a place where I could be free. I could just do little doodles. It didn't have to be some like really important, meaningful thing. It could just be like something that's fun and exciting and a release. And I'm collaborating with people, and also just this is such a great platform to like put your work out there too. And I love seeing people come in and being like really excited by the stuff that I'm doing. That makes me excited. Whereas before, I was sitting in my studio or my room like doodling, and I had no connection to the world. And it's nice to put it into the context of the grand scheme of things. It makes me feel like I'm doing something a lot more important. So it's been really, really nice to be here and be around all that creative energy. Even every once in a while, I'll just do like about 1 billion in one sitting, and then they just all sell like that because Tennessee puts them on Instagram, and then people from all over the world, which blows my mind, are like, I want 5 of these. And I draw all of them by hand with the exception of these. This is the logo that I designed, and it's currently featured on the business card and the little postcards that we made, and the tote bags. The tote bag. But then this is more of an example of like one that I just do off the top of my head. And that's fun because then really you come in here and like maybe you can't afford like a dress, or you can't afford one of the knickknacks in here, but you can afford a little pin. And then you can like show all of your friends, hey, look at this awesome place that I went to. And maybe get inspired to like also make something, or get in touch with Tennessee and be like, hey, I really like what you're doing. Can I be a part of it? And I really feel like there aren't a ton of collectives like that so much anymore. Like I like the vibe that she's channeling, which is very like 60s, do it yourself. Also another, like I've been making these little cards that I do, again, sort of going off the basis of it's like a one-time thing, it's just hand-drawn, and then it gets to be like a fun thing that someone discovers. Fun for me to like see people getting excited about it. And then these, of course, are my little pencil bags, and again, like this is one benefit I got from going to art school, is like I realized that I didn't have to just be drawing or painting on paper or canvas. I could be designing fabric and put it on fabric and then make it actually be on a platform that's like usable for people, and get to interact with other people, and that's been really cool. I'd really love to go forward with that and hopefully design clothes someday. That'd be great. I collaborate with my mom a lot on that because I know how to sew like really basic things, and I have made clothes before. I actually, for a project in school, designed like these really simple dresses. I designed fabric to go with it, where I just did a painting. It's just not even like a tiled pattern, it's just a painting. And I uploaded it to print all my fabric, and I showed my mom the drawing. I was like, this is how I want it to look. Can you make me a pattern? She made me a whole pattern, cut out on paper, everything, sized it for me. And then I somehow out of nowhere made it myself. And it definitely didn't look like Dior or something, but it fit and it looked cool. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. But she sewed my cape, for example. So I'd really love to collaborate with her more because it's fun for her and it's really cool for me. So we're trying to work on that this year in getting a couple more designs together, and then I'm actually designing a few more textiles. I'm hoping to start actually making some clothes and maybe putting them in here. So fingers crossed. For gallery work, it's still a lot of just like gallery politics and just meeting the right people, and that you kind of do still have to do face-to-face, I think. But for anyone, I mean, networking is so big, and to use a platform like Instagram or Twitter or anything like that is ultimately going to get a lot more people to be looking at you. And I mean, just from my personal experience, I used to just write it off, even though they sort of told us, you make a Tumblr, you know, promote yourself. And I always felt like so silly doing that. I was like, oh my God, how full of myself do I have to be to get into this? But instead I just started Instagramming just for fun, and I just kept a Tumblr just to like show everyone what I was doing. And now it's turned into this great thing where I'm getting emails from people like all around the world through the Deep End Club and like making this stuff. So, you know, now my ideas about social media and how helpful it is for people totally changed. Like it's really important, and if you use it the right way, it can be a really great tool. I've been trying to set up meetings with art directors from various parts of the newspaper. So, you know, I met with the art director for the New York Times Magazine. I met with the op-ed art director, which normally they kind of direct you to if you go to art school. They're like, you know, this is your best bet. They like using fresh new people with new points of view. But with op-ed, you get an illustration that's like this big, like 1 inch by 1 inch, black and white, and they expect that that's kind of like the best that you're gonna get when you first start out. So I had been doing these meetings, and I'd kind of been getting mixed feedback, like, you know, you need to work on your pieces, they're not quite what we're looking for, and, you know, just general discouraging things that everyone gets when they start out. And I just kind of gave it a break for a minute. And then a few months later, just out of nowhere, I get an email from this art director from the Sunday business section, and he says, I'm a big fan of your work. I love it. I love your style. Would you please do an illustration for this week's Sunday Times? And here's the article. And I said, yes, of course, and flipped out and called my parents and called my whole family and told them. And then for the next couple days, I just like cranked out sketches. I worked all night. I probably pulled like 2 all-nighters, but I got the job done. And that Sunday, it was so gratifying to go into a little bodega and buy the Sunday Times and see my piece like 5.5 inches by like 9 inches, full color, with like a little preview on the top of the newspaper when you open it too. I couldn't believe it. That was a dream come true. So that was really exciting and reinvigorated me a little bit too. So I'm hoping to continue that trend of getting cool illustration work like that. Just do what you love. I mean, as cheesy as that sounds, and put work into it. Really dedicate yourself to what you do. Be open to critiques, because that's like the most important thing you can do. Don't close yourself off, but at the same time, take everything with a grain of salt and learn to trust yourself, and also not to let self-doubt get a stronghold on you, because it is so easy to let that happen. And I had one of my mentors tell me that when I was asking them about illustration and how to get work and just being an illustrator, and they said, you need to create work that you love, because people are going to know when you don't love what you do, and no one wants to hire somebody who hates what they do. And just in general in life, you want to be doing something that you don't feel like you have a gun pointed at your head all day. So just remain true to yourself as much as you can, and put in the work, and you'll be rewarded.